A ship floats aimlessly. Her cargo of alcohol is completely untouched. The crew's belongings sit perfectly undisturbed, but the lifeboat is gone and the humans have vanished forever. Welcome to the ultimate maritime Irish goodbye. Prepare to be ghosted. The Atlantic Ocean is a massive, freezing, unforgiving void of absolute misery. If you break down out here, you die. If you get lost, you die. It is not a place for casual sightseeing. The Canadian brigantine, the Dei Gratia, had just stumbled upon the Mary Celeste, completely adrift and abandoned in the Atlantic Ocean. It is the 19th century maritime equivalent of finding a running car parked on the highway with the doors wide open and the driver evaporated. No distress flags are waving, no smoke is rising from the galley, just an eerie floating silence interrupted only by the aggressive slapping of the ocean. She was under partial sail, she wasn't sinking, she wasn't burning, the hull was sound. The masts were largely intact. There were absolutely no signs of damage or a violent physical struggle. The ship was totally fine. The only thing missing was the biological life forms required to steer it. The Mary Celeste was found with her lifeboat completely missing. Yes, the primary escape vehicle was gone. This specific detail added to the overwhelming mystery of the crew's sudden disappearance. Why would 10 experienced human beings voluntarily lower a tiny, fragile lifeboat into the churning, freezing Atlantic Ocean when the massive, perfectly functional wooden ship they were standing on was completely seaworthy? It defies every single instinct of nautical survival. You do not abandon a floating fortress for a rowboat unless the fortress is actively exploding. But the Mary Celeste was not exploding. She was just sitting there, silently mocking the Canadian boarding party. If you suspect a violent mutiny, the first thing you look for is the loot. Pirates and mutineers are not exactly known for their restraint. So the Canadians break into the cargo hold, fully expecting to find it ransacked, pillaged, or burned. Instead, they find a staggering amount of booze. In 1872, the Mary Celeste's massive cargo of industrial alcohol was found completely intact. 1,700 barrels of highly flammable, highly valuable liquid, untouched. If a gang of bloodthirsty pirates had stormed the ship and murdered the crew, why would they politely leave the incredibly expensive payload sitting perfectly in the hold? Who abandons a crime scene and forgets to take the actual prize? It makes zero logical sense. The untouched alcohol immediately obliterated the standard piracy theory. The captain and the crew's personal belongings were entirely undisturbed when found. Boots were tucked neatly under beds, pipes were resting softly on desks, razors, clothing, personal journals, all sitting exactly where they were left. It looked like the crew had just stood up, stretched their legs, and collectively decided to step off the edge of the ship into the void. When humans abandon a ship in a blind panic, they grab things. They grab coats, money, keepsakes. The crew of the Mary Celeste grabbed absolutely nothing. The logbook is the holy grail of maritime evidence. It records everything. Weather, speed, weird noises in the hull. They find the final page. The last official entry in the Mary Celeste's log was dated a full 10 days before she was found adrift. 10 days. The log contained basic navigational coordinates, no frantic scribbles about a sea monster, no panicked notes about a hull breach. It just stopped. It left absolutely no explanation for the crew's sudden, total disappearance. The final entry was utterly mundane, right up until the second the writer apparently evaporated into thin air. Let the sheer terrifying gravity of that logbook detail sink in. 10 days. For over a week and a half, the Mary Celeste had been sailing itself. A massive wooden machine, completely devoid of human input, navigating the treacherous Atlantic Ocean currents like a haunted maritime Roomba. The ship was found in a disheveled but seaworthy condition, navigating without a captain, without a crew, and without a destination. The winds pushed her, the currents pulled her, and she just kept going.